Over $200 million of capital, pushing the company's enterprise value over $1 billion. Joining us now to tell us more, Kenny Dichter, founder and CEO of private jet company Wheels Up. So, Kenny, last time you were on, you were involved with trying to do this with some of these blue chip investors, and it's always in a company that's not public yet, and that was started, what, 3 or 4 years ago? 4 years ago.
Has it been 4 years?
Wow. Right here.
Unbelievable.
Wow. Right here. Yes, sir.
So who are the blue chip type? I mean, people will recognize these names. Who gave you the $200 million?
Well, it was led by current investors and really unbelievable supporters, T. Rowe Price and Fidelity.
T. Rowe Price and Fidelity.
Also NEA, Tony Florence, who did the Jet.com deal. So he's in there as well. And we added a few additional institutions, and of course, KKR
did the debt.
Did the debt. So when you put it together, $200 million of new capital, growth capital, a lot of things to do with it, Western Europe, digital, and other initiatives to accelerate the growth. But $1 billion.
What do you mean digital, in terms of being able to book stuff online?
Yeah, I think, what you really want to do is make it more convenient and easier for people to interface with us. That's the whole digital deal. How do we automate? How do we make it more simple? And Wheels Up is going to use some of this growth capital to accelerate our digital program.
So you at this point fly the mainstay is the King Air.
Yes.
It's a turboprop for flights like someone if they want to go from Teterboro to Nantucket.
80% of flights in North America and 85% of flights in Western Europe are less than 2 hours in length. That's everything, including the Gulfstreams and the Bombardier Globals.
If Tom Price had a Wheels Up card, it wouldn't have been $1 million. Probably, right?
I was going to say,
for
everybody in Trump's cabinet should have Wheels Up. The administration should have Wheels Up.
It wouldn't even show up. It's not that, but it's still expensive.
Optically, it's proper. And look at GE. They announced that they're closing their flight department.
They're getting rid of their company cars for senior executives.
I saw that as well. They should be Wheels. By the way, they should be Wheels Up and Uber.
And now, by the way, when you read a story like that, do you go straight to them?
Of course.
And what's happening?
Well, I think at the end of the day, I think it's a big trend in the Fortune 1000. Optically, you don't want to be flying a Gulfstream to D.C. We saw what that happened with the car companies. So I think ultimately the King Air is going to be the vehicle. If you got to get from A to B to C in a day, every company should have Wheels Up in its pocket.
Where do you think we are in the economic cycle? Because I assume your business is very tied to the cycle and tied in large part to the markets.
Well, it's a little counterintuitive, Andrew. I would tell you there's going to be a massive trade down. If the markets come off, the King Air is going to be the new Gulfstream 5. So we're the last stop before you go to LaGuardia, O'Hare, Kennedy.
That sounds like you're the Home Depot in a housing
Exactly. There's no way senior executives can use the commercial system with respect to the commercial system to hit 2-3 cities in a day.
What percent of your business, real quick, is on an individual basis, meaning I personally have the membership? What percentage of it is corporate?
I would say that 65% of our flying is individual, but there's some corporate in that individual, that's entrepreneurs.
That they're expensing separately back to their business.
And I would say 35% of the flying is corporate. That's the way I'm seeing it right now. I think we'd like to get to 50-50 and get that count up. But I think until you get scale, which is kind of where we are right now, that's when the corporate flight departments and the risk managers can say, okay, they're big enough to handle my lift.
So the Citation, how many Citation XLs do you have?
So we took our 80th airplane last week. 65 Kings, 15 XLS.
15 XLS.
And the 10, which I know Joe is...
Do you have any 10s yet?
The 10s are on a ramp. They're waiting for us. They're painted. I could see a program, sort of end of 2018 with 8 to 10 Citation 10s.
That's the one I ask for Christmas every year. I never get it.
You're into speed, Joe.
Stupid Santa. He
You're
doesn't. They fly high and they fly fast, and they're you don't need anything more than that, really.
Yeah, and I would just say being a private company that has these public investors. The other great thing that we have on our team is our partners. Jefferies and Richard Handler and UBS, Michael Donovan, Brian Hull.
How do you get Serena? How do you get Tom Brady? How do you get all these? They're
ambassadors, and I tell you what, Joe, they're ambassadors, but they're also investors. We're talking about hard money. They invest alongside the institutions.
When are you adding any electric jets to your? Becky's worried about the electric. She's willing to drive a car with a windmill, but
I saw the electric jet story. I would tell you one thing. I know Scott Ernst and Scott Donnelly over at TXT.
Yeah.
If an electric jet is viable, They will be there at the electric jet table, and we will be with them. The Electric King Air, Joe?
That just seems crazy.
Yeah, I think, by the way, I think that's 10 years, 15 years away. That's not 3 to 5.
Yeah,
but I would say the Textron with its engineering crew, they'll have the best electric jet, if there ever is one.
We're going to have to run, but if we have the same conversation in 4 years from now, will Wheels Up be a publicly traded company? Will it be sold? There's got to have to be some kind of exit, I imagine, for all these investors. What's the ambition?
So 12 to 18 months from now, we'd like to take it to the public markets. I'll tell you right here, if we get there, I'll be here. I'll be sitting right here. With this $1 billion of enterprise value, where do I see it 4 years from now? I think we can be a $5 to $10 billion company in terms of our market cap and our size. And, that's what I come to work every day to do,
What revenue do you have to hit to get to a $5 to $10 billion market cap?
Yeah, I would say we'd probably have to be in the $2 to $3 billion of revenue, probably 10 times the size that we are today.
10 times.
Yeah, 10 times. But that's, that's achievable. I think that the addressable market for how Wheels Up's going after this business, 1 million, 2.5 million, 2 million people and companies, all we have to do is have 25, 30,000 members, and you have the $2 to $3 billion of revenue. So I think we can get there, and that's what we endeavor to do every day.
All right. Kenny, thanks.
Kenny Dichter, thank you. Great to see you.
Yep.
Love a success story like that.
Yep.